Do you recognize this bag? Remember back in October, I cleaned out my garden and I saved my geraniums. And so this is the first time I'm opening these, and we are here beginning of March. And I'll show you that geraniums can winter over and not in pots. So here is one. Looks really good. Do you see this stem here is quite green, so that is very viable. If you look at the tips of all of these, especially this one right here, you can see that there's a little bit of a leaf starting to emerge there. This one looks pretty good. I'd say this branch here is probably dead, so that's something we want to take off. You don't want to leave the dead branches. As a matter of fact, I think maybe this whole one here. So we'll take that down to the bottom. You can see that this part is pretty, it's not viable, it's brown. If I had cut any of these other ones, they'd be green underneath. Let's take a good look at it and see what we have going on here. Here's one little part we will cut off. That was still pretty good. If you can see, there's a little bit of a green on that stem, so that's still viable. I'm going to cut sometimes when they're a little squishy, they aren't so good. I'm just going to cut this guy off here. Oops. Yeah, that's kind of brown there, but I do see that this little node here is giving me some green. So up to there, it looks as though that is viable. Anyway, I'm going to, let's see what else we have in here. Okay, looks like this guy probably didn't make it. It's rather on the small side. I'm going to clip this, and if I see any green, then it will still be viable, but I'm not seeing any at all. So obviously this guy didn't make it, but we have one that has. Here's one here that actually has a bloom on it. I'm going to just cut that bloom off, but and it has just a wee bit of root here, but this is viable. So we've got another one there. Here's one, again, another small one. I'm not seeing too much. Nope, lost another one. Well, that's probably about, sometimes I lose maybe 50–60%, but I think, you know, it's worth a try. This one's still good. I'm going to give that one a try. The stem is nice and firm and not squishy, you know, doesn't bend in like cardboard. So that's a good one. We have two more here. This one's really good. We have lots of leaves coming out of this one. For being locked up in a paper bag for nearly 6 months, I'd say that they're doing very well. So we have two small ones, and this guy looks like he may not have made it. I didn't have a large. Now that's still green there, so I am just going to cut off a couple of these and hope that I get some more shoots there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to soak these in water for, I don't know, maybe a couple hours. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to pot them up. Okay, my geraniums have been soaking for probably about a couple hours. And just helps their roots maybe to activate. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I have a bucket of potting soil. I'm just going to pot these up like I would normally do any flowering plant. Okay. We'll take this large one, setting in fairly gingerly. Now, since I did lose quite a number this time, what I will do is come along and take off a few of these branches and then just root those. I don't have any sand. I usually do it in sand. I may just put it in vermiculite, which I have plenty of. Anyway, so there we go. Firm it down, give it a good water, and set it on a nice sunny location. Warm, sunny location. Okay, another pot. This cute little one here. There we go. Give him a little drink of water. Don't really have a large pot for this big one, so we will just use what we have. When they go back outside in the springtime, they will go back in their larger locations, their bigger outdoor pots. These are just to get them going again. Don't press down too hard. You don't want to break those roots off. I got a couple popping up here. I'm going to stick those down. There we go. And one more. This guy looks like he's 2, but I'm not going to force it open. Hopefully next year they'll grow big and bushy and I'll be able to get them all through the winter again. So, okay. So I'll come back and we'll show you how they're doing in probably about a week. So stay tuned. Back in the beginning of March, I pulled out my geraniums that looked just like sticks. And so it's been less than a month and I've got some beautiful sprouting on this old geranium plant, which I've had for probably about 3 or 4 years. Here's another one, which is really leafed out in many different areas. Here's another smaller one. And then I also started some sprouts. I did some clippings, and those are doing fairly well too. These were clippings that I took and rooted them. I'm rooting them in vermiculite here. This guy looks like he may not make it. This guy, I just rooted him right in regular soil. So I took this plant here. I took many clippings off of this guy. He's rather old. You can see a lot of stumps from the past. I might trim this guy up a little bit also because he's a little wonky. Look at that. Look at that crazy crook. But try this method for overwintering your geraniums. It'll save you a lot of money come springtime when you go to the nursery or the big box store and need to buy more geraniums. So sometime in a later video during my summer months, you'll see these out in my garden. And I will probably make note of that to bring you back to this occasion with this way to overwinter your geraniums. I hope you give this method a try. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share on your different social media platforms, and I will see you in the next video. Happy gardening!